Morning, this is Jeff Person. I'm the president of the USAFL Umpires Association, and we are going to have a presentation this morning about the USAFL Nationals tournament that we have every year. We call this USAFL Nationals for Aussies. The reason for that is we do invite our Australian compatriots to come on over during this weekend. It's a big weekend, a long weekend, and we want to make sure everybody understands with that kind of a commitment to come over for a tournament like this, what is involved. And so that's what the purpose of this presentation is. It is being recorded, so those who can't attend the call can hear it later. So if you do want to ask questions, you can do so. We have a chat that you can post into. We have a couple of people that are posting in there already with some either mechanical problems or other issues with communication. So we'll keep an eye out on that chat and bring in their questions and comments as appropriate. And also, in case you happen to make a comment, just be aware that it will be recorded. So with that, I will go ahead and ask a couple of other people to introduce themselves, and that'll be for the purpose of the AI, which is able to record who is saying what for those who have introduced themselves. So with that, I'm going to ask a couple people to say so for the AI purposes. And Sean, if you could introduce yourself, your name and your position.
Good morning. How are you? My name is Sean Roti, with the USAFL Umpires Association as the international liaison.
Thank you, Sean. And then Sid
Hello, good evening, good morning. My name is Sid Caesar. I'm the treasurer of the USAFL Umpires Association.
and Liam.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm really just a field umpire and been a few times now to the USAFL Nationals tournament. Yeah, just sort of been helping out with arranging a couple of things.
Great. Thanks, Liam. All right. So with that, what we'll do is we'll get started. You should see on your screen the cover slide for the presentation and going now into the agenda. So we're going to cover what is the USAFL Nationals, what does the weekend look like, what is included as part of the weekend, and then as other things are important to people is how much will I be working? All right. What is USAFL Nationals? In 2026, we'll be in Sarasota, which is in Florida. We've been there several times before. The fields there are absolutely gorgeous at the venue, which is the premier sports campus at the Lakewood Ranch. We'll be there with um, officially from the 16th to the 18th for the tournament, but we'll be extending that a couple of days for those of us that come in a little bit early to get set up. And then, of course, to break down, most people leave on Monday, but we have others coming in on Thursday and Wednesday to make sure everything's getting set up. The tournament itself has meetings on the 16th, and then the competition is on the 17th and 18th, which is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There are a number of different hotels that the league has set up as the official hotel partners. You can find those on the website. We will be told which ones are the hotels that we will have set up for the officials. The league will make sure that we know which of those hotels are. They use a partner to help book everything. And so what we'll do, and we'll explain this a little bit later as well, as we go through and provide hotel rooms for everybody, we will match up with those who are coming with what day you're coming in and try and keep everybody as close as possible to the grounds as well as with transportation. With the airports, there are actually two airports that are reasonably good to fly into. The Sarasota Braden Airport, which is code SRQ, is a smaller airport, but that's a little bit closer. And then the big international airport, which is one most people will probably fly to if they're coming from overseas, is the Tampa uh, airport, which is a TPA, which is the airport code. That's a little bit farther away, and regardless of which one you do fly into, and if you're looking for transportation, we will help coordinate that for you. The USAFL Nationals is the largest football carnival in the world. We will have 5 fields running simultaneously all day Saturday and all day, well, not all day, but most of the day on Sunday. There are usually 90 or sometimes more than 90 games, including a women's division and some exhibition games. We have over 500 assignments that we'll be doing over the course of the day and a half. And with all the coaching, umpire coaching that we're going to do, we expect to do about 100 umpire observations, and that usually leads to 20 to 25 umpire accreditations on the weekend. We will have an umpire clinic that we run on site for all disciplines and all levels of umpires. And we do have a couple of umpire meetings and dinners that are spread throughout the weekend, and you'll see a list of those as we go through. So it's a massive undertaking to run that many games on that many fields in a short period of time and do all of the other administrative functions that we're going to do. The official activities get started on Thursday, and we will finish officially on Sunday evening. The list here has a welcome dinner for the Aussie guests, which we'll do at Thursday at about 7 o'clock. We have an umpire clinic, which we run on field. It's usually on the main field, which is called the Cooper's Field. And we'll pick up to a second field if we need to. And we've done that before. We were running on 2 fields. That we do Friday afternoon from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. There's an umpire meeting at 7 o'clock on Friday. And that's where we do introductions. We show people a lot of the rules and other things like that that'll be happening on the weekend, how to get around, what kind of activities are going on literally during the tournament, how to get your food vouchers, you get your gear, so on and so forth. The annual general meeting for the UA is held at 8 o'clock on Friday. And part of the reason for that is by for the bylaws, it dictates exactly when we have to have that meeting. So we know that wherever we're at in that meeting on Friday, we will stop. We will conduct our AGM at 8 o'clock. That includes some reports for how we've done for the year. And the big thing, obviously, is we will have our elections for our officially elected posts. We'll do that as part of that AGM on Friday afternoon. We'll also have a coaches meeting at the end of that umpire meeting on Friday. And by coaches, I mean those that are sometimes they're coaches, sometimes they're not, but those who will be doing the observations to help out our junior umpires. We will have an umpire dinner on Saturday. The event will be at 7:30. It includes several presentations. We'll do the accreditation awards for the weekend, and we will also announce our grand finals appointments. The games will start at 8 a.m. and usually run till 6 p.m. on Saturday. They'll start again at 8 a.m. and usually run till 1 p.m. on Sunday. Sometimes they go slightly later, depends on the schedule. And then at no later than 1 o'clock, there'll be the grand finals with 5 men's divisions and 2 women's divisions. There are usually 7 grand finals that are happening between 1 o'clock and usually over by 5. It might be 5:30, just depends on what the league decides to schedule. And then the awards ceremonies for all of those winners from the best and fairest or the most consistent and all the runners up and the winners of each division will get their trophies and medals. That happens directly after the last grand final on Sunday. We will then have a thank you dinner for all of our guests on Sunday. We usually have that around 8 p.m. And then that's the concluding event for the weekend. And then people usually take off on Monday, but many people who make it a holiday visit out of this, maybe either staying in Florida or going off somewhere else in the US to continue their holiday. But that's what the weekend looks like. Sid, I see a bunch of comments in the chat. Are there any of those that I need to address before we move on?
Now I'm putting information in about websites and emails for contact.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, so what is included as part of the weekend? For those working umpires and the support staff during the weekend, we provide travel support in the form of a hotel room Thursday through Monday. So if you arrive on Thursday, and you'll get there for that introductory thank you dinner, welcome dinner on Thursday, and that's getting you through Monday. So if you decide to stay longer than that, that will be on you. If you want to come in earlier than Thursday, that'll be on you. But those 4 nights, we will cover your hotel room. The transfers to and from the airport and the hotel. So we'll work out which hotel you are staying at and which airport you're arriving at, and we will work out how to get you to and from. And then on Friday, to and from the ground for the clinic, and to and from the ground for the games on Saturday and Sunday, and then transfers. Those transfers we'll arrange for those. We usually have a bunch of people have cars. We might have an actual van that we're renting to help transfer a bunch of people at one time. So we will cover all of those transfers as well for your travel support. For the gear, we do have an official umpire shirt. Ours are the lime green color with the logo. We will have an official USAFL UA umpire gear bag. And we also provide insoles thanks to one of our goal umpires who owns a company that produces these. We actually called Airfeet, and we have Airfeet insoles that if you're interested in getting a pair, we'll provide that for you complimentary as a thank you for being part of the team. And then for the food, we have the dinners. Welcome on Thursday, awards night Saturday, thank you on Sunday. So those are the official dinners. And then snacks, lunch, water on ground, both Saturday and Sunday, so both game days. We'll have a whole bunch of snacks, lunch, and water provided for you on ground. Remember, those events are running from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. So you don't need to bring anything if you want to, perfectly fine, but we always have more than we need. And usually at the end of the tournament, we find a local charity and we donate the remainder of the foods and waters and drinks and so on and so forth. We donate the remainder to a local charity. The big one, how much will I be working? So when you're providing umpire services, which is field goal and boundary, as well as coaching, which is including the observations that we do, it'll be based on your desire to work each discipline and your current accreditation level. So we do have umpires that work at multiple disciplines. Some of us are accredited in different disciplines at different levels. And most of the time, umpires just want to work in one, but those who have a desire to work in more than one discipline, we can arrange for that. As a field umpire, you will be working a minimum of 6 games. It's usually 3, sometimes 4 on Saturday, and either 2 or 3 on Sunday. As a goal umpire, it's 9 to 10 games spread across the Saturday and Sunday. As a boundary umpire, this is our newer discipline that we don't have as much structure around from an assigning standpoint. We don't have that many. It really comes down to as many as you feel fit to do. Last year, we had one of our Aussies who I believe the number was 43. He didn't run 43 games, although it seemed like he did, but he ran, I think, 43K, and he just ran nonstop. It was just astonishing. It's really just as many as you want to do if you're just a boundary umpire. A few of us want to pick up a game or two as a boundary to just keep up our skills. And as an umpire coach, for those who are advanced accreditation, we ask that you do 3 games of observing our junior umpires, our less experienced umpires. We have a standard form, and these are used for the weekend accreditations that we do. So we ask you to provide the feedback for those umpires, document that on the form, and then we use that for 2 things. One, we use that for the accreditation purposes to those who are either re-accrediting or advancing their accreditation. And then we also send that. I do that after the tournament. We PDF those and send that to each umpire so they have a record of the feedback that they're getting. You can use that in their growth and development on their umpire journey. Who has worked nationals before? You can see here the list of both countries. The AFL Umpire Association is from a variety of countries, as well as the umpire associations from inside of Australia, who have come to our tournament and worked at a minimum of one from each of these, but many of them have had multiple umpires over many tournaments over the years. So we've got a pretty good representation. If you come and you are from a tournament, from an association that is not on this list, our list will grow, and that'll make it nice for next year when we do this for the 27 tournament. You can see here the record is 8. That's the number of tournaments worked. I think Liam, you said Peter Pierce is planning on attending. He's the one who has that. So if he comes again, he'll be at 9. And Liam, I think you and your dad are at 7, one behind him. So you got to keep up that. So if he does miss one, you guys can catch him. Okay, that is the tournament. And we always want feedback. So we always learn something from each of the tournaments that we do. So it's really important for us to get feedback, whether it's from this meeting, whether it's from the lead up to the tournament, whether it's on the days of the tournament, et cetera, et cetera. We always want to get that feedback so we can continue to improve what we're doing. This particular presentation, which we started last year, is an example of us getting feedback. Contact information, the USAFL website, and I believe Sid has that in the chat. That's the USAFL as a league. That's the www.aussierulesa.com. The Umpire Association has a different or separate website. That's www.usaflua.org. You can go, if you want to go there, there'll be a ton of information there about our background, our history, our accreditation process. We post all the rules and a whole bunch of other stuff on our resources site. So for those of you who are looking at that and have information that might help us out, we try and keep that with quite a bit of detail, that resources page, so that our umpires here in the US and in Canada have access to those tools that help us develop umpires. We can point them to things about whether it's health and wellness, whether it's how to deal with the decision tree on holding the ball, the actual rules for the AFL, the rules that we have modified here in the US for the USAFL modifications, et cetera, et cetera. There's just a lot of resources out there. So those are the main pages on the website that umpires would be interested in. It also has our calendar out there for other events in case anybody is coming overseas, not during nationals, but is interested in helping out. And then as the tournament director, you can reach myself directly as the president, and the actual tournament director is Toby Person. That's his email address there, which I have access to, so I'm able to monitor that. And that is usaflua.tournamentdirector@gmail.com. Okay. So there's where we have it. And that's our tournament for other nationals, for Aussies. So what else in the chat, Sid, is there that I should be addressing?
Presently, there aren't any questions, so we can take some questions or comments in there. One thing I'd like to let everybody know is we have a weekly Umpires Association email that goes out on Friday USA time normally, but it's meant for the weekend, and we share pertinent information about the Umpires Association, about our league, any general interest stories that we find that our Umpires Association would like to see or learn more about. So if you are interested in getting on that mailing list, it's a MailChimp email that gets sent out by our secretary, Tara. Just send me an email and we'll add you to the list. So that's the Friday USA time weekly Umpires Association email.
I don't see any questions at the moment, but if in particular Caleb LPKs, can I get a copy of the presentation Yep, we can do that, Jeff. We can send him that PowerPoint or even put it into a PDF maybe, and
Yeah,
yeah, we can do that.
run.
I can arrange that.
Yeah. Do you have the copy of the presentation yet?
Yeah, I think you did send it to me the other week.
Yeah, we just, of course, from last year to this year, we just changed like, dates and locations and stuff like that with one or two other tweaks. Yeah, so we can certainly send that out. We're also going to have this video will be posted to our website, and I'm not sure where else you're going to post it, Liam. But on our website, we do have a page for all of our virtual clinics that we run. It's its own page. We've been doing virtual clinics since COVID in 2020. So I think we've got about 10 or 11 of them out there so far. We do, I think, usually two. We've upped it to, I think, three a year, where we're doing clinics to help our umpires understand the accreditation process, the rules that are changing for every single year. And actually, as part of that, we do have a new one that we'll be posting shortly where we're doing You Make the Call. We actually did that last Monday, and we had some questions. We were testing out the system that we were using. We had a video with a dangerous tackle. We did a discussion around that dangerous tackle, how it should get called and administered. And we're going to be doing that type of You Make the Call um, at least one more and hopefully two more times before nationals. And so what we're looking for in terms of that is uh, we're going to be pouring over some of the videos that we've got from last year from our regionals and hopefully our nationals tournament to pick out some nice footage that we can use and help our umpires see calls that or see plays that need to have calls made. Sometimes they're calls, sometimes it would be non-calls, but then help them see that so we can talk about the decision-making process that umpires go through. And when I say umpires, I mean the field goals and boundaries. What's the process umpires go through in order to make that decision? Does it have a whistle? Does it not have a whistle? If so, what's the call? And if it's uh, has something more than just having a free kick involved, what do you do about it? How do you go about it? So we're trying to really up our game. So if you have those types of videos or you want to participate in that, see what we're doing and help us learn, we welcome you to jump on our calls. Those will be on our website for the dates and times. Those will also have the dates and times, and the video links will be in the Friday email that Sid mentioned. So those are some of the things that we're doing to help our umpires grow.
A question come in, Jeff, from Daniel about, can you confirm that there isn't any further compensation other than what was listed with accommodation, food, transfers, etc.?
Correct. Since the US laws require us for payment in terms of getting, actual cash to somebody, that you have a W-9 on file, and a W-9 is an IRS and Internal Revenue Service tax form um, in order for us to directly pay you. So what we do instead is we provide the hotel rooms, the transfers, and all of the food in exchange, if you will, for the working of either games and or coaching of games. And we track that in terms of the dollar value that's associated with the number of games you're doing versus the value of the rooms and the food and the transfers. And we usually have somewhere between a 1.5 to 2.0 ratio. And that ratio is actually in your favor. So when we look at the value of what we're paying for, it's usually 1.5 to 2.0 times the value of the dollar value of games that you're working. So we can't do cash, but we do these other things to try and help out.
And Daniel, if you're thinking about flights as well, it could be something that you go to your like the SANFL or your UA about, and because there's been umpires in the past that have been sponsored or had money put towards getting over as a bit of a professional development thing. So that might be something that you can look into.
Yeah, I already had that clicking in my head because I did
Yeah.
notice that the SANFL isn't on the list that has been involved before. So I have no idea how much of an interest they would have in terms of wanting me to go over, or like supporting it, or just being like, yeah, look, if you want to do it, do it. Otherwise, we don't really care. But yeah, no, I was down that track already. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely ask the question. And we also have a lot of AFL umpires that have come over as well, so that's another bit of more of an incentive as well. Good to sort of get the chance to run some games with them and learn off them. So yeah, and see that second question is probably for you about the accreditation for goal umpires. Have we confirmed that?
Right.
Yet?
Presently, we're enhancing our accreditation and how we evaluate the goal umpires. And so that'll be posted as soon as that goes through committee and is done. We plan to have that and practice that at our regional tournaments so that we can be 100% with that at our national tournaments.
We were talking about the grid that shows the different things that are evaluated from a goal umpire standpoint. Is that what the question is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I looked on the website, and obviously there is one there for field and boundary there, and then the goal umpires one is blank at the moment.
Yes, that's correct. So we have a draft version for goal umpires that we're in the process of reviewing before we post it out to the website. And back on the comment you made, Liam, about um, the local leagues, as I call them. If there's for the SANFL, if that's something that's going to be new, that's why Sean is on the call. He's our international liaison. We want to connect the SANFL contact person with Sean. That is part of Sean's role, is to work with those organizations in Australia, those other umpire associations. We'd like to actually have a formal affiliation agreement. It doesn't cost anything. It really just says we agree that we're going to put your logo on our website and say that we're affiliated with you, so that there's a connection that can get picked up when people are doing web searches, and then vice versa. And then we've had other umpires and umpire associations in the past plan to come and do fundraising. When we did this in 2017, Riddle had 24 umpires and support people coming across, and they had spent about a year doing fundraising to help make a massive holiday out of it for a group that big. Others have done it with just one or two, but it's a good idea to go to your local association, talk with them about that. If you want us to do another presentation to that organization, Sean and I and others can jump on a call and do that, and talk about how it works, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a really big thing for us, is to continue to build that list of umpire associations that we are affiliated with.
Very good. I think that's probably all. Anything from you, Caleb?
Zach, if you're still on the call, go ahead, Caleb.
G'day all. Is there a particular age limit that can go to this trip? You got to be like 18 and over, or anyone younger that could come along?
Yeah. Jeff, you can, or I can say, I first went when I was 15. So, as if you're old enough to umpire, which I think in Australia is about 13, you're free to go. If you can make your way over there, go for it.
With that said, well, we prefer to have those that don't need adult supervision coming along. I mean, you came along with your father, obviously. We do require a high level of accreditation to come overseas, because we're doing from our perspective, it's a high level of football, and we want to make sure that the umpiring standard is appropriate to the level of football. And so if you're advanced accreditation already, then you should be good to go. If you're not at advanced accreditation, then we want to have a quick chat before you commit any funds to coming. We want to make sure that it's not going to be something that you find that you're out of your depth and unable to perform at a high level. Not saying you have to be advanced accreditation. You can be the development accreditation looking to get to advanced. So we just want to make sure that we don't put you in a bad situation and end up being frustrated and think, oh my God, I don't know why I did this. This is a bad decision. And so we just want to be careful of that so that you have an enjoyable experience, that you get a lot out of it, and really show the players who are on the field what the level of umpiring is in this sport. And that way it's a good experience, a positive experience for everybody involved. So last year we had, I forget, was it 8? Was it 9? I can't remember exactly now. We had 8 or 9 umpires coming over from Australia.
We had 12.
Oh, was it 12?
Yeah, 12.
Yeah,
Which was
we had
our,
two.
I think we said it was the second most Aussie visitors that we've had.
That's right. Yeah, we had Ash come over. He was our boundary umpire from the VFL, and he was running boundary the entire time. He did the boundary umpire coaching for us, which was fantastic to have. We had a couple who were full-time goal umpires, which was tremendous. We hadn't had that many goal umpires come over before, just goal umpires. And then we had a whole bunch of the field umpires were very high level. And so it was outstanding for us to have that many umpires who were able to come over, work with our junior umpires, even working with our senior umpires, to help develop the umpiring standard over here. And then just as an FYI, we have those 7 grand finals, and everybody who came over was working grand finals. And so it's not just the games that you're working over there, but then you get a chance to work a grand final as well within the tournament. So we had a really good time with that. And then the last thing I'll say on that, and Lee, we'd mentioned this before, we do have support from the AFL. They have sent as many as 4 AFL umpires at one time. Some years they've sent 2, some years they've sent 1. We had 1 umpire last year. He was fantastic. When we had a couple years in a row, we had uh, Chris Donlin and Razor Ray Chamberlain come over. So if you recognize those names, they're 2 of the most senior AFL umpires. They have done multiple tournaments with us before. And with Razor Ray, he's retired now. I believe Chris just retired as well. I know Razor wants to come back on his own, even though he wouldn't be quote unquote coming over supported by the AFL, but he could certainly do it on his own. And he was actually talking about that coming up. I don't know if it was this year. I think he was talking about coming out this year. So we'll follow up with him. But you get a chance to talk with them, to potentially work with them, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a ton of really good things for umpires who are coming over from Australia that you may not even have access to from Australia.
And Daniel, are you a goal umpire at the sample?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. I know we've had, if you know Matt Bridges from AFL, he's come over as well a few years ago.
I
He's an AFL.
recognize the name. Yeah, I
Yeah,
recognize the name. I think I recognize the face from seeing him on TV.
yeah.
But
You're
I think
probably
he
near
was
the
he was before my time. Yeah.
yeah. Well, he's a current AFL umpire.
Yes, I do recognize the face. Yeah, but I've never met him before though. But yes.
Yeah. I think that's probably it, Jeff. With the
Right. So
questions.
if you have, excuse me, if there are questions that you come up with after we're done with this, you got the contact information here. You can contact Liam if you can't remember or find that. He has obviously a great way to get a hold of us, and he can answer some questions himself. Please ask if you're on the fence and trying to decide if you're going to be able to come or not. let's just have a discussion. We can get on a Zoom call or a phone call, and we can decide what makes the most sense for you. Does it make sense to come? Maybe it's this year, it might be next year, hard to say. But if you need to have a conversation with that, we're absolutely open to doing that. If you need to have a discussion, just let us know. All right. With that, thank you everybody for, excuse me, thank you everybody who's been on this call. And I hope everybody has a great rest of their day, whether it's the remainder of the evening or it's the actual morning and then the evening. Have a great rest of your day, travel safe, and we will talk with you soon.